All right, welcome to the first episode of Connecting Right for 2018.
Boom, get some.
All right, you might notice that I don't have Sean here with me.
I thought it was Sean.
No, yeah. Sean has left the show to pursue his woodworking.
I identify as Sean.
As some of you may have donated to the Domestic Violence Center when we had our little thing going.
That was awesome. How much you guys raise?
A little over $1,700. But Matt is our new co-host now, or my new co-host, I should say.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that you came on, decided to endure this endeavor with me.
'Twas my honor.
Yes. So first and foremost, obviously you guys saw that there was some stuff that happened over our break.
Major controversy.
We got quote unquote called out.
if that's what you want to call it, yeah.
And it was an entire joke. But, that's what happens when people that don't know what they're talking about try to educate people about things that they don't understand. And speaking of that, Matt has already been called out on something. This is his first real show. Like he stepped in for me on the 17th. We took Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve off, and Matt we announced that Matt was going to be the new co-host, and he's already started to take some flack. So we're going to jump right in to introducing Matt and talking about what people think that they know that they don't really.
Right.
So Matt, you're a Marine vet. Sorry,
Yes.
I almost said Navy.
No. Technically, Department of the Navy, but
Yes.
yeah. Okay. The men's department.
And a former Los Angeles County Sheriff.
Yes.
And the one thing that people are trying to hit on you right now is why you are no longer a sheriff.
Right.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So you were a sheriff for 7 years.
Yeah.
And what happened?
In 2013, I resigned.
You resigned.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of a controversy behind your resignation.
Yes.
There was somebody that said that you mistreated them, basically, that you used abusive force.
Yeah.
But tell me the story. Tell me what really happened with that.
Basically, what happened was it was alleged that I beat up somebody in the radio car transporting an arrestee down south. Mm-hmm. Basically, long story short, I basically took a plea deal. I pled no contest to a disturbing the peace, which is a misdemeanor.
Right.
And I did a year of probation and a year of therapy, and I was allowed to resign from the department. But
you never did any jail time.
No, I
So,
didn't.
because some people are claiming that you had spent time in jail, but you never did jail time for this.
No.
And the conviction has been expunged from.
Yes, the conviction actually was dismissed.
The conviction was dismissed. Sorry, yes.
So yeah, I don't have anything anymore.
So there was nothing. So and from what I understand, because you run the California Conservative Action Group, and I'm a part of that. Before I decided to join that, I had talked to you. We had gone on a couple of quote unquote shooting dates,
dates, yeah.
And you told me your story, and I have quite a few friends in the department, and I had actually talked to them to see if they knew what was going on. So I have the full background on what's going on, but other people don't. And this was more of a political thing based on abuses that were going on, not with you, but
Right.
abuses that were going on with other departments and other officers, and they were trying to use you as an example, basically.
Right. When I was going through my particular case, the department was in a bad light in public opinion with the jailhouse abuses and everything like that.
Right.
And the whole reason why I took a plea deal essentially was I thought I was doing the best thing at the time for my family, because I knew deep down, from what my friends and family, people on the department, my legal team, and everything like that were telling me that I would never get a fair trial.
Right.
I would never get a fair trial, and I wasn't willing to risk that, with having a family, wife and kids, and a house I needed to do or needed to take care of.
Right.
So, like I said, I did the best thing that I saw fit for myself and my family, and I paid my dues.
Right. just like anybody else that actually committed a crime.
Right.
Whereas it sounds like, and from what I've heard, you really did not as much. But what were the other cases?
I flatly deny the allegations that were leveled against me.
Right, and
there was no evidence to show that that's what happened.
Yeah, because even the person that said that you had assaulted them, they were seen by a doctor once they got to jail, and there was they
no
claimed,
sign of injury, no complaint of pain. He denied it on video. So
there's actual proof that you really didn't do anything to this guy,
right?
And that's something that I actually heard from one of the other, or actually two of the other guys. But and what were the other cases that were going on that they decided to use this as a look? We're trying to clean things up.
There was a lot of cases actually ongoing. The major one was down into Men's Central Jail. They had a lot of deputies and supervisors actually got charged for inmate abuses and everything like that. When I was going through my thing, the two Fullerton officers were on trial for murder for the homeless guy Kelly Thomas.
Yes.
There was
that was a very sad situation.
It sucked all the way around, but I got lumped into all of that, and it, yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand how political the law enforcement actually is.
Unfortunately, law enforcement shouldn't be a political job. Leaders in law enforcement, chiefs of police, sheriffs, they shouldn't be political in their handling of the departments or their command. You know what I mean?
Their job is to uphold justice, and
right.
that's what they should be doing. But
right.
instead, they're trying to play this game.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate. And I've even heard there's a couple of people that are going to be running for sheriff against current Sheriff Jim McDonnell.
Right.
And I've even heard from some of the sheriffs that they said we can't even donate money to these other guys because it'll show up,
right?
And they can get reprimanded for that,
right?
Unjustly reprimanded, but
right.
but they will get reprimanded.
There's been, and I mean, this is historically speaking. I mean, even when Sheriff Baca was running or was the sheriff,
mm-hmm.
If people decided to run against him, they were targeted. People lost their command. Captains were relieved of their command, or they got what they called highway therapy. Whereas they live in North County, but they were moved to a South County job and they'd have to ride the freeways for hours and hours a day. You know what I mean? So it is highly politicized, unfortunately.
It is. And we do have a sheriff that's running, or a former, he was a commander.
He's a retired commander.
And how he reached he spoke with me, and how he reached the commander position is actually a very unfortunate situation for him himself.
It is.
He
went back against
Tanaka, right?
He didn't do what Tanaka wanted him to do, and he paid the price for it. Actually, his son paid the price for it. He was targeted the same way I was targeted, and it happens. So unfortunately,
and we're not trying to discount the fact that there are injustices that do happen.
No, for sure.
When you look at the law enforcement community, there's millions of officers that are either sheriffs, deputies, or they're police officers, or depending on what they're, highway patrol, state trooper, and you're going to have bad apples in every group.
No, absolutely. Everybody's got their bad apples. I mean, look. Every profession, whether you're a welder or a peace officer, a fireman, everybody's got their bad apples. And not to say that I'm without sin. I've made mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not perfect.
You're a human being.
Yeah, I'm a human being. And the thing I like to tell people is I'm entitled to a second chance. I'm entitled to put my life back together. I'm entitled to take care of my family and move on with my life, just like everybody else is.
Yeah.
So
there's people that commit criminal acts that are not law enforcement that they realize they made a mistake and they've turned their lives around. There's drug addicts who have done the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
There's plenty of people out there that want to make the right decision and want to have the right things going on for themselves in life. And it's a matter of taking a look at the character of the person. Have you ever been reprimanded? Did you ever have any other issues besides this in your past?
I did. I got in trouble my first year when I was on the department for foul language. Yeah.
Okay. But
no,
you weren't going smacking people around.
no, no.
So you got in trouble for foul language.
Yeah.
Sean's got in trouble for foul language too.
Oh,
So.
really?
Yes.
Is that a fact?
Well, in trouble is it's subjective because it depends on who's
Right.
really looking at it.
Yeah. It's not Brian
and
Conforto,
how
is
they're
it?
looking
Yeah.
at it. So and actually speaking of that, we actually me and Matt just did a show.
Matt and I.
Did a show. Sorry. Thanks, Grammar Nazi.
Anytime. Halkamas.
Yeah. So Matt and I just did a show. You guys are going to be able to see it. I'm not going to give away too much. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm trying to not use as much content from that show with this show. But,
For sure. Yeah.
But you guys are going to be looking for that soon. It'll be fun. It's going to be more of a Santa Clarita related thing as opposed to the outside world. But
Can we tell people who we sat down with?
I don't want to say. I really don't want to ruin it for this person.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to say if it's male or
Gotcha.
female.
No, that's fine.
I'm using my binary pronouns right now.
As you should.
So, anyways, so I'm very glad that you were able to accept my offer of being my new co-host.
I'm really glad to be here. I'm happy you thought of me, and let's kick this pig.
Yeah, and so just so people know a little bit more about you, like I said already, you started the California Conservative Action Group.
I did.
Which is a group here. It started off as a local group.
It did.
It started off. It was funny because like one day I'd go in and all of a sudden it's the Santa Clarita Conservative Action Group,
Yeah.
and then I look at the next, and then all of a sudden I get a notification.
Southern
It's been changed to the
California.
Southern California. I'm like, what? Like, did we grow overnight? And
We really did. I would say within the first 3 days we went from 0 to 300.
Yes,
So,
we did.
yeah.
And we were up to 700 pretty quickly, and then you went
We're
to
just under 1,000 members.
and then you went to Southern California, and then you became California.
Yep.
My opinion, we grew a little too fast. Maybe we should have taken it a little bit slower.
It
but-
happens. It happens. I'm happy where we are. you
Yeah.
know.
And I'm very happy where we are. Also, I think we're doing. We're growing. We're small when it comes to Republicans and getting together. Sometimes it's like herding cats, so it's a little more difficult.
It is. My main goal and our main goal of the organization is to activate the silent majority of conservatives, especially here in Santa Cruz, but in general in California. I'm trying to get out of that notion of typical conservative voters in California where they go and think like, you know what, I can't make it to the voting booth. I know my neighbor's conservative. He'll vote for me.
Right.
But he's not thinking that his neighbor's thinking the exact same thing, and he's not going to vote, and she's not going to vote, and so I'm trying to break that trend.
Right. But one of the things that I really want to stress about our show, and it's something that we're going to try to focus a little bit more on, especially this coming year. Even though we brought in Matt, who's way further right than Sean is.
You say it like it's a bad thing. I'm really not that.
It's not a bad thing, and you're not as scary as some people say that you are.
I
either.
really am not. I'm a nice guy. Okay?
Right,
I'm
but
really a nice guy.
But we want connecting right to be where it's you're connecting in the right fashion. KHTS does what they do, the Signal does what they do, and the Gazette does what they do. But there's bias in those from time to time. I'll say that lightly. And we want to be able to talk about things where we're giving you the information. We may speak our piece on them. But,
absolutely. We have our opinions. We're allowed. We're entitled to that.
But at the end of the day, I don't want you to take our opinions as gospel or anything like that. I want you to take the facts that we give and make your own decision.
Right.
I want it to be we're connecting right in the right way, not we're connecting right as in we're right wing. And that's kind of something that we're really going to try to work on. We did that. We tried to do that very last year with Sean, and we actually did a really good job of it.
So.
I really want to kind of make that a little bit more of a point where we're talking about facts and what's really happening, as opposed to saying this is what you should do,
right?
Or trying to unjustly assume that somebody's a certain way, or try to paint them as a certain way. We're going to give you facts about people,
right?
And if I say this is what I feel about this person, that's just my own personal opinion.
I would say we'll tell you to do a couple things. We're going to tell you to listen to our show.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you to vote, and we're going to tell you to actually research what you're voting for.
And 100%. And research what you're voting for.
And who
research
you're voting for.
what the people that you're voting for are saying.
Right.
And make sure that you have your own opinion, because that's the most important part, is not being part of a hive mindset.
Right.
The individual is more important than the group, because the individual has more importance than a group's power. And that's why when you have a bunch of people that think individually as a group, they're way more powerful than somebody who's just speaking the same thing over and over and over again.
Agreed.
So, anyways, we are going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. There's been some new laws in California.
Yeah. When does that ever not happen?
Some of them good, some of them bad.
Yeah.
And some of them just sort of interesting. So, and also there's been new laws elsewhere we're going to talk about also that are just sort of funny. So
Let's do this.
All right. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Alrighty.
Santa Clarita Philharmonic has begun its season of free concerts. The SCP is a non-profit community-based volunteer symphony orchestra comprised of local musicians from throughout the Santa Clarita Valley who are dedicated to providing quality classical music for the residents of the Santa Clarita Valley. Like the Santa Clarita Philharmonic on Facebook or visit santaclaritaphilharmonic.org for more information.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too. Call right now. Operators are standing by. 1-800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 1-800-452-1075.
She's the KHTS Radio Country Showdown winner, Savannah Burrows.
I'm asking you, what are you searching for?
Watch 16-year-old sensation Savannah Burrows perform her original music at the Canyon Theater Guild as we pay tribute to our first responders after the recent tragic fires. Here's your chance to win free tickets to our concert and a free barbecue, courtesy of Rattler's Barbecue, on Saturday, January 13th. Barbecues at 6 p.m., concert at 7 p.m. at the Canyon Theater Guild. Details at hometownstation.com/Savannah. Not a winner? You can experience the concert after the event by logging on to our Facebook page at KHTS Radio. That's facebook.com/KHTS Radio.
Feeling the misery of a heartache jealousy.
KHTS.
All right, welcome back to the second segment of Connecting Right Radio with Dave and Matt.
Yes.
It's weird to say that. I'm so used to saying Dave and Sean.
It's okay. You're doing good so far.
Thank
Way
you.
to
I
go.
appreciate that. Sean, we miss you. Anyways, the next thing we're going to get into, so we're the first of the year now. The first of the year. And what happens
Yes.
with the first of the year in California? You
We're
get
being
new
told what
laws.
to do, when
Yes.
to do it.
Right. So
Literally.
there's three main ones that I want to touch on. One's a little near and dear to Matt's heart. It's a little touchy with me, but not as bad. One of them is sort of like with us, and the other one's another with us. But
Yeah.
but either way, there's still things that need to get talked about. So we'll save the near and dear one for the end of it.
Certainly.
So first, we're going to talk about marijuana.
Marijuana.
Mary Jane. So
I'm allergic.
Matt's allergic. So at the beginning of January 1st, the possession, transportation, and sharing of up to an ounce of marijuana will be legalized, or now I should say has been legalized.
Yes.
So, and it's really strange to me because was it already legal in San Francisco? Does anybody? Do you know that, Cody? Is it sort of like it's that state or it's that city?
I think
So
it's a sanctuary
The city
city
that
for
thinks
marijuana.
it's a sanctuary
Yeah.
city for marijuana. Well, when I was up there, that's why I was away from the show for Sean's last episode. Was I had already had tickets to go see the Cowboys play the Raiders.
I'm sorry.
And I know it was an interesting. It was the index card game. If anybody was watching football, they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But literally we walked from restaurant to restaurant where we were hanging out up there the day before the game, and there's literally people on the street just smoking, just like passing pipes around, like it was just like the cool thing to do. Like, I mean, I guess it is the cool thing to do up there, but
Totally. If you're not smoking weed, you're not cool.
up there, no. So it was really strange, and we haven't seen that here. I mean, we're only what 7 days into the new year, so
Good job.
So people
You
are
can
still
add.
right. I can do the maths.
I added numbers.
So people will actually look to my computer and look at the date. And so we haven't seen that around here yet. But is that something that I don't think that's something that we'd see in Santa Clarita.
I don't think so.
I think maybe in certain areas of Santa Clarita, you might see somebody like passing a joint, but like I don't think you're going to see the blatant openness that you would see in San Francisco.
I don't think so.
But so some people have an issue with it, and some people don't. As long as you're smoking like somewhere on private property and being safe, and you're not driving, I don't care. I'm a libertarian.
Responsible usage.
Do what you want to do as long as you're being responsible about it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this, Matt?
I've actually evolved over time with marijuana. Before, I was like, you know what, we don't need it. I wasn't happy when they passed the medicinal thing, and the only reason why I was like that is because it was illegal at the federal level.
Okay.
And I still think that way. I don't agree with the whole states' rights issue on this one because it's it's perfectly clear the federal government doesn't see the same way that California does, or other states like that. So I honestly, you want to smoke weed or consume marijuana or THC, by all means, go for it. I really don't care. I really don't. But I don't like this stupid fight that's going on. Like this whole Sessions thing.
Yeah.
Where he come out like he has every right to do what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's the law. You don't like the law, change it.
I think, and federally, I honestly think that we should.
I do too. Yeah.
I
agree
think
with
that we
that.
should change it federally. I don't like that it's what do they call them? A stage 1 or
Schedule 1.
Schedule 1. I don't like that it's a Schedule 1. Well, oxycodone is Schedule 2.
Well,
that just blows my mind.
Well, the whole thing about that, and I know we've talked about this a little bit before on other episodes. The schedule goes from Schedule 1 through Schedule 4,
Right.
and the schedule is based on medical uses.
Yeah.
So the federal government just sees that marijuana has no medical usage whatsoever. So it's a Schedule 1 narcotic, whereas oxycodone and other stuff, painkillers, stuff like that.
Yeah, but
Opiates.
you're I don't ever feel that anyone's like getting addicted to marijuana to the point where they're like
right.
going off and like ruining lives and destroying
Right.
families.
I don't-
where like oxycodone has basically like the family should be sued. The people.
Well, the thing
that,
about
like,
the thing about opiates like oxycodone and stuff like that is the reason why it's such a big problem the way it is because it's the way that it's regulated and the ease of obtaining it.
Yeah.
Like patients will go out and doctor shop and doctors don't care. They'll make money off of you. They'll write the prescription. That's a problem. You should regulate that.
Right.
But I think instead of outright legalizing marijuana, I think the federal government should actually just do the right thing and reevaluate its medical uses.
I think so too.
You know what I mean?
It's when I had shoulder surgery years ago, like 2010. So it's like years ago. It's like years ago.
Yeah, 7 years ago. 8 years ago.
Yeah, you did math there. And they said, "Do you want Norcos?" Or at first they said, "Do you want Vicodins?" I'm like, "Vicodins don't do anything for me." And he's
Yeah.
like, "Well, I can give you Norcos, but I can only give you a certain amount." I'm like, "Well, how long am I going to be in pain? How
Right.
long? Like typically, how long does a shoulder surgery?"
Right.
And he's like, "Yeah, about 2 weeks." I'm like, "Then give me 2 weeks worth and give
That's
me
it.
no refills."
Yeah.
And I was totally fine with that. And I didn't even use them all because I actually was out of pain a little bit earlier than that. But it did help me out for that time. But I was very cautious about it.
Yeah.
And I think that some people don't understand the need to be cautious about opioids, and that's where the addiction comes from.
The thing with opioids is that there's not enough conversation between the patient and the doctor,
Right.
and there's not enough regulation where I'm going to go to this doctor, I'm going to go to this doctor, I'm going to go to this doctor, and you know what I'm saying? There isn't like, hey, we'll give you stuff for the pain, and I think they're starting to slowly change their mind on that. You know, doctors are and everything like that on prescribing the drugs, but time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see. So, anyways, we're going to move on to the next law. And the next law is an interesting one. It's an employee-employer relationship law. And what it states is AB 1008, or the bandbox law, will come into effect where employers with 5 or more employees cannot ask a potential hire about their criminal history until a conditional offer of employment has been made.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so I'm just... Did you even know that came into effect, Cody? You have a very...
He's like, what?
I have not heard that one yet. No, I've not heard that one.
Well, it's funny because I'm one of the things I'm reading off of is KHTS, and you're not even reading your own stuff.
Oh man,
I knew about
you had
that.
to do that. Oh, that's harsh.
But no, I found this one extremely interesting, and it could go one way or the other because basically an employer that has 5 or more employees cannot ask you about your criminal background or your criminal history unless they already give you an offer of employment. And at that point, once an offer of employment is given, they cannot rescind it without legal reasoning, from what I understand. So it's not like I can say, oh, Cody, I want to hire you to work for my company. Oh, what have you done? You're like, oh, well, I shot a dude back in the day. And I'm like, oh, just kidding. Rescinding my offer. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah. Yoink.
Yeah. So but at the same time, that's a felony. You can do background checks. So I feel that this is not so much for somebody that's gone out and committed multiple felonies.
No.
But for the purpose of making sure that somebody is not excluded from the employment process because they got picked up for having like a joint on them, like walking down the street one day.
I can see some. I can see some good reasoning for that. Like I said, I wouldn't say that I'm against that at all. I think that employers are going to find another way around it. Like, for example, at the beginning of the interview, I'm going to give you a conditional offer of employment.
Right.
Let me see your background.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know the legalities behind I
that,
don't either.
if they're able to do that or not. But I think it's good because I think that there's a lot of people that are unfairly
targeted.
And unfairly removed from their jobs or unfairly like not given a chance at a position because of minor offenses in the past.
Right.
So I think that this actually is something that's going to actually help people. It's going to help the people that want to help themselves. It's the people like, yes, I made a mistake in my past, but I want to get past that and become a better person.
But ask me this though: does it apply to government jobs?
No, I'm sure it doesn't.
Oh, it's shocking. Right. Yeah. It's funny that they're going to tell private business owners and how to do their thing, but they're not going to do the same thing on the government level.
Is there more than 5 employees in the government?
Geez, I don't know if anything below 5,000, to be honest with you.
Well,
I don't know.
As a libertarian, that's far
Zing.
too many for me. But the California Fair Employment and Housing Act requires employers with 50 or more employees to provide at least 2 hours of prescribed training and educating regarding sexual harassment to all supervisory employees within 6 months of their assumption of a supervisory position and once every 2 years as specified. So, so for somebody that may have had a minor sexual, I don't know how minor sexual law breaking can be, but because especially with these
days everything is the same. Whether you said something inappropriately or you did something in a,
but at least if let's say someone got drunk at a holiday party and made an improper pass at a woman, and they got sued or they got convicted of it, something like that, and they realized maybe they gone to like rehab or AA or something like that, got themselves better, and it gives them a chance to be able to get past that. I'm guessing, and that's what if you make a mistake in life, Matt's getting a second chance in life, and everyone deserves a second chance as long as you understand the mistake that you made in the past and that and
you've done something. I mean, look, if you made a mistake and you live your life every day trying to make up for it and everything, like realizing it, and there's no recidivism, then fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also it states that the labor commissioner generally handles unfair employment practices, and the office is now allowed to investigate employers without complaint from the employee. So that's going to be interesting.
It's very interesting.
So, all right, let's
More
go.
power to the government right there.
Now, the big one, the fun one, the one that we're going to take probably the most time on.
Yes. Let's do this.
Also, real quick before we get into that, the DMV has also passed a number of new laws that affect the passenger for hire drivers, such as Lyft and Uber. Yeah. Wear your seatbelts, guys.
Yeah, wear your seatbelts.
I don't know. I don't know, because I'm a corporate of this. I've done this. I just get in the back of a Lyft and an Uber, and I don't feel the need to put a seatbelt on. But I get in the back of my car, my friend's car, and I immediately put my seatbelt on. Like, I don't know where at some point I thought I differentiated a difference. But that Uber driver can get in an accident just as easy as my friend.
Yeah, exactly. If not more.
And so, so I've always done that, or I haven't always done that, but I've done that now. I always put a seatbelt on, and also it's seatbelts on public transportation and the use of marijuana while operating a vehicle. Which, again, if you're stoned, don't drive. Walk. I mean, ride your bike with caution, because I'm not worried about you hitting.
Nope. Don't ride your bike. You can still get a DUI on a bicycle.
You can get a DUI on a horse. Did you?
Yeah, you can.
You're
operating that animal.
I have a friend that. So in Compton, there are 4 ranches. Did you know there are 4 horse ranches in Compton?
I do now.
Cody, you learned something new tonight, didn't you?
Every night, yeah.
And a friend of mine who works down in that area in law enforcement, he literally had to walk a horse 3 miles back to the ranch because the guy got a deal. And you can't tow a horse. Like,
I had an incident like that too when I was working patrol up in Palmdale.
Did you?
Yeah, out in Little Rock. There was a drunk guy just blasted riding his horse. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man?
The horse may be sober, but you're not.
Yeah.
And the horse is going to listen to you.
The horse has to deal with you possibly puking on its mane and all that. Yeah, it's not a pretty sight.
Yeah, poor horse.
Yeah.
Anyways, so don't smoke and drive. Don't drink and ride your horse. And don't do any of those.
Yep.
Walking is hard enough when you're drunk.
Walking is hard enough when you're sober sometimes. You got these cell phones in front of you. People are like falling into fountains.
That is true. Anyways, on to the next one. The Matt's fun one.
Yes, bring it on.
Guns.
Yes.
And ammunition.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Sucks to be a gun owner in California.
Oh, does it or does it not? It does.
Just blows.
Well, it's, for me, I have 3 firearms that I own. 2. I own 2 firearms. My wife owns one.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes,
joint ownership. So
yes.
You both own 3.
Yeah, it's in her name, and I have 2 that are in my name. So she owns 1. I own 2. We both own handguns, and I own a rifle. My rifle is one of the big, scary, gonna kill everyone in the world. AR-15s.
Absolutely.
So
do you have a barrel shroud on there?
No.
It's that shoulder thing that goes up.
Oh,
I mean, that's what the Democrats say. So
okay.
I don't know.
I don't even know what that is.
Neither do they, but they want to ban it.
Yes, but I've retained 2 of the features. I'm doing air quotes in case you can't see. 2 of the features, one being a collapsible stock and the other being a pistol grip.
You have a pistol grip?
Yes. Do you know how I was able to attain these? I put what's called an AR mag lock on my rifle. And what this does is it replaces the bullet button. So you cannot drop the magazine without pulling out the pin and
takedown
pin, drop, break,
disassemble of the firearm.
In gun terms, breaking it in half, and dropping the mag, putting it back together, and pushing the mag back in. Now, there have been devices that have already made this obsolete since the middle of last year.
Right.
There's what's called ejection port loaders.
Yes.
And what these are is when you shoot your rifle, where the casing comes out. That's the ejection port. And after you finish your entire clip or your entire mag.
Thank you. I'm about to lose my mind on you right now. Like, what are you doing?
That port remains open. At that point, they have these devices now where you can rock it in and slide in, and so you don't have to eject the mag at all.
Right.
You can just keep the same magazine in there and keep reloading it through there. One of the points of being able to retain your features but having the bullet button removed was to make it harder to reload. Now, a lot of gun owners might get mad at me for admitting that I'm admitting this on air, but I'm going to say it anyways. I clocked myself before the end of the year, before I had to remove my bullet button. I clocked myself, not being accurate, but just shooting rapidly as fast as I could, 30 rounds with dropping my mag, with using the bullet button. And I did that, and then with keeping the same mag in there with using the ejection port loader, I shot 30 rounds using that. And I shot 8 seconds faster with the mag or with the ejection port loader than I did with dropping the mag. So
you gotta love that ingenuity.
So so based on California's new law, I can actually unload more bullets faster in a rapid. Let's say that I go into let's say not me, but let's say someone goes into a nightclub, such as Pulse. And they have these ejection port loaders, which are easily attained. Well, they'll be outlawed next year, by the way, just so you know. And they could unload bullets faster than they could with the bullet button.
I think the best case to look at is the San Bernardino terrorist attack.
Okay. Somebody else bought that gun for him.
But the thing is, here's the thing. Somebody else bought the rifles for them. Yes, that was a crime. It's called a straw purchase. But at the same time, he bought 2 rifles with bullet buttons on them.
Yes.
What did they do? They took them off.
Yeah.
The criminals aren't going to use a mag loader. They're gonna completely change the way that California says you can have your rifle and do it to where it's supposed to, and they're going to do it anyways. Why? Because they don't care about the law.
So what do we need to do to make it safer so that gun owners can still own these rifles, but that the people that want to use them in a malicious way are not able to? What? I don't have an answer for this.
You're talking about looking for a unicorn, man.
I know. I like my AR-15, but I also don't want similar guns. Mine's never going to get used with the way that I keep mine safe. I keep it locked. There's no way that anybody's over my dead body is someone going to be able to get it. So I have to die before somebody's actually cold dead hands. So no one's going to be able to use my rifle in a malicious attack unless I'm dead. And at that point, it's going to be very hard. They have to drag my body over.
Do the rigor mortis is set in, and it's like, oh man.
Yeah. So it's going to be very, very tough for them to do that. But I want to be able to because I like this rifle.
The biggest thing.
Actually, mine's a carbine because it has a shorter
carbine.
Yeah.
The whole
whatever.
yeah. The language, you got to use the right nomenclature.
Okay. Hey, look, Marines arms guy.
All right. No, the biggest thing that is affecting California right now with Prop 63 is the ammunition. They're making it harder and harder for you to buy ammunition for your firearms, and it will do absolutely nothing to stop crime. Nothing at all. And everybody can say that with a straight face.
So you're saying that if somebody wants to commit a crime where they want to kill multiple people, that they're going to do it whether they have an AR-15 or not?
Yes.
I think we all knew this already.
Yeah.
And I think that there is a much deeper seated
Prop 63 with the ammunition thing. Though it gets worse.
We'll get
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
But I just wanted to talk about the fact that and also so you could keep your rifle
if you register it.
But from the last I saw, there's no place to register it.
You can now, actually.
Did they finally get that going?
Yeah,
the DOJ,
finally,
DOJ get their things together?
Yeah, they finally got it up and running. I think it was a month or two. No, it's actually a couple months ago. They got it up and running now. And you have until June of 2018 to register your Evil assault rifle.
Yes. So, yeah, it's until June now. So even if you have your features and a bullet button,
you don't have to register it. If it's a featureless rifle,
no. But if you have your features and a bullet button,
you register it.
You register it, but you have until June now.
June of 2018. Well, the glorious thing about the California DOJ is they were supposed to have this up and running 1 year ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When they passed these laws, they had, and this is the funny thing, with the whole marijuana thing. Okay, marijuana is illegal on the federal level.
Right.
When they legalize it at the state level, when businesses do business, they can't open a bank account, right? There's all these regulations they have to come up with to skirt federal law, right? Well, whereas firearms is a constitutional right. They already have a system in place. to purchase firearms through a licensed dealer and all this stuff like that. Yet the California DOJ could not get it together in over 1 year's time. In the same amount of time that they did the marijuana law, they could not get it together for firearms.
Right.
And just this year, January 1st, the Attorney General, Becerra, issued a cease and desist order for all ammunition dealers, all gun shops. They cannot sell ammo. Why? Because he couldn't get his act together,
right.
which is absolutely pathetic.
And well, one of the other things is now you have to go through a background check to be able to get ammunition.
Next year.
Next year, okay.
It starts next year.
But there was a lot of people, there was a lot of stores that weren't able to sell ammunition at the beginning of the year
Right,
without...
because they shut them down.
Yes. And
because they had to get a license to sell the ammunition.
And there was one store in Northern California that was
Eldorado?
like screw
Eldorado,
you guys, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And so they publicly said we're still going to sell ammo, and lo and behold, within 12 hours of them saying that, they received their certificate where other stores still had not.
California just doesn't see they don't like the Constitution as one California lawmaker, Democrat, has said on camera that they don't care about the Constitution. They just do what they want.
Well, did his name happen to be Kevin?
That's the other guy.
Oh, Gavin Newsom?
No, not that guy either.
I mean, these are all guys.
There's so many. Gavin Newsom is a joke.
Yeah. Oh, and he's going to be our next governor.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back. And I know some people have been wanting us to address what happened over the over our break. So we don't need to really address it, but we're going to make fun of it.
Yeah.
All right.
Totally.
So we'll be back shortly.
Every year, thousands of local children, teens, and adults receive treatment at the Child and Family Center for depression, anger, anxiety, abuse, thoughts of suicide, and drug and alcohol addictions. Our professional staff provides outpatient services at office locations, in the home, the community, and on many elementary, junior, and high school campuses throughout our valley. If you need help, contact Child and Family Center at 259-9439 or childfamilycenter.org. Improving lives, one family at a time.
Struggling to find a gift is a challenge, so hit the easy button. Shop KHTS.com.
Shop KHTS.com?
Gift certificates to hundreds of Santa Clarita stores and restaurants at double their value. A $30 gift certificate to Roger Dunn costs you $15. Hotels, restaurants, stores, even local golf courses, all at half price. You choose what you want with one easy click. Shop KHTS.com.
The SCV Pregnancy Center has provided compassionate, personalized, and confidential care for 30 years.
Angela Bennett, CEO.
Positive urine test does not confirm pregnancy. It only indicates you may be pregnant. Only a doctor can diagnose and confirm pregnancy. If you used a home test and need answers immediately, the SCV Pregnancy Center will provide immediate pregnancy test results and uses the latest technology to confirm and diagnose pregnancy. The center specializes in pregnancy testing and confirmations. Make your appointment today.
Visit scvpregnancycenter.org.
All services free and confidential.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
All right. Welcome back to the Connecting Right Radio Show.
Thank you.
With Dave and Matt. Still getting used to that.
Hey, you're doing a great job. Not one slip of the tongue.
I know. Everyone's
awesome.
Everyone's looking at this picture of me and Sean, and I'm wondering who this big bald guy, big bald bearded guy next to us.
Hair on top. I don't know.
Over the break, Sean lost his hair, got 10 times bigger, and grew a beard, a better beard, beard,
more fuller beard.
Just kidding, Sean, your beard's great. Anyways, so over the break, we took a break, as I mentioned before, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, and we had some stuff published about us.
Did you now?
Yes.
Did you now?
It was fun and exciting because it was fun. I say fun and exciting because it was great to laugh at. So I'm a part of a 3%er group.
I can't be associated. Those evil people,
right? Sean never was, although they said that he was through like everything.
Well, according to this guy, he was.
Yes,
he is.
Yes,
actually.
Yes.
I don't know.
And Matt is not either.
No,
just me. We are. This is a group that's been around since the 1800s. But in the op-ed, it said it's been around since 2009.
Research isn't a good quality of the opposition.
No. And he never mentioned us, so I'm not going to mention him, but I think you guys already figured it out.
Can I mention him?
No. Well, he never mentioned you, and
Okay.
he wasn't referring to you at
No,
all.
he
So
wasn't, but I'm sure he will in the future.
Yeah. Anyways, so this op-ed was put out that said that I'm anti-government, that because I'm a part of this group, that I'm a part of an anti-government group, even though we completely support our government. and so. And there was imagine with 3%ers. Imagine someone going. If I say I'm a 3%er, it's the same thing as me saying I'm a Christian, which I am also. I'm not saying what church I belong to. I'm not saying what version of Christianity that I practice. But I'm just
Aren't
saying
you
that
part
I'm
of the Westboro
Christian.
Baptist Church?
Yeah. No. But so it's. So what was said about us was equated to one small group, which isn't even around anymore. They've been defunct. They're gone. They're not even a thing anymore.
They exist in their minds, and that's about it.
And so because there's one bad apple on the tree, now all the apples are bad according to this.
Yeah, the whole tree's bad. The whole
op-ed.
orchard's bad. The farm, the farmer, everybody.
It's the same idea as saying that that because there was some people within Catholicism that were pedophiles, that all of a sudden we're all pedophiles now. So
every single one of you.
Yeah. So I'm a pit bull owner. I own a pit bull.
Those are bad dogs, aren't they?
You got a picture of my dog here, Cody? Let's bring up. Look at him. Look. Oh my gosh. That's Kopi there on the left. The gray one. He's the pit bull. The other one is an American Staffordshire mixed with boxer.
I like your
Weimaraner.
dogs.
Yes.
I like your dogs.
That's Rosalie. Rosalie's great. Anyways, so there you go. There's look at how vicious and awful he is. No, this is the same thing as somebody putting out an op-ed saying,
there it is.
Saying, oh my gosh, Dave's so awful because he owns a dog that in the past other dogs like that have attacked people.
Obviously.
And so that makes me an awful person because I own a dog who other breeds or other dogs of my dog's same breed have attacked people. And then somebody else coming out and putting out another op-ed saying he's just like Michael Vick, or he's just like other dog fighters that use pit bulls. Like it's ridiculous, the kind of stuff that's been
boggles my mind. That's been
said. Stuff. Yeah. And so for the first op-ed, like I just want to say that I want to believe wholeheartedly, because I want to believe in the good in people, that he just didn't understand and that he didn't know. If you would have come and talked to me like the way that Katie Hill did,
then if you actually show some courage, then I want to talk to these people.
Then he could have known, he could have seen what's going on, and he could have got an understanding of what's happening. But instead, they decided to write an op-ed and look stupid. And at the end of the day, it actually netted me 7 radio appearances over the break. Also, he did this after our last show. They did this after our last show, knowing that we weren't going to have like 3 weeks to respond. So it's like, that's cowardly in the first place.
Yeah.
But it gave me, it allowed me to talk about my businesses and get my businesses out there as I was on these shows. And all these shows that I was on, they're like, this is a total joke. Like, right. Like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So it actually helped me out. Katie Hill, I know, got some support from it.
Yeah, she should. She's a nice person too.
Right.
She would never sink to that kind of a low.
Yes, and it's actually helped Steve Knight out too.
Mm-hmm. Everybody but the individual.
It literally helped everybody out except for the person that said it. And then the person, this woman that I don't even know, who did this second op-ed that was just off the freaking wall.
Yeah,
it just.
I don't get
it. That just did even better. So anyways, it was kind of ridiculous that he's trying to use this and he even called this political theater, because after after this all came out, the Gazette did a piece on it, which they kind of butchered it, and they tried, but
they tried.
Not very hard. But they talked to me and they didn't even get what I said correct in that. So it's just like, all right, here we go. And you guys wonder why we don't trust the media.
Yeah, right.
And
fake news.
And then they did another one correcting a couple of other things, especially with Sean. That was what I was most concerned about.
That was the biggest thing. Yeah.
Attack me all day long. I don't care. I run my own business. I'm not going to lose it. You're not going to lose me any business, because my business.
They're actually going to gain you business.
Yeah, but for other people like Sean and Matt, like you could hurt them. And that's just not like Matt has a family to take care of. He's got kids. And so when you go and you write things that may attack him, that could affect his children.
Yeah, people actually messaged me and said, called me out and say, I'm going to find out where you live and I'm going to hurt you. I mean, they obviously I'm not using the same language they did, but it's like, wow.
No, I saw it. Yeah, and he shared that with me. So, but anyways, and there's been a lot of social justice warriors that have been trying to back this dude, and it's the same people. It's a very small group here in Santa Clarita that have been doing this, and it's been entertaining. It's been it's like. Apparently I degrade women now also.
Really? Is that
no. Well, I mean, because again, they're lumping me and Sean together. So the single mother that we employ in that works for my company, she got a kick out of that. She was like, she's like, you degrade me all the time. like she actually made a big joke out of it, and she actually got me a card that said something along the lines of thanks for not degrading me the way that this idiot thinks you do.
Yeah.
So anyways, we have a fun little video that we got permission to use. There's a gentleman by the name of JP Sears who is out there on the interwebs. Look him up. Go to his Facebook page, JP Sears. Give him a like.
And to share him.
Awakeningwithjp.com is his website. And we're going to leave the show with this. So enjoy it, guys. Have a great evening, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
For me to set people straight. I have a track record of changing people's minds 100% of the time when I comment threads and Twitter feeds are easy places for me to set people straight. I have a track record of changing people's minds 100% of the time when I leave angry comments online. See it? When I'm behind it, I'm invincible. I can say anything without consequence. It helps me dish out social justice. When I'm behind it, I'm invincible. I can say anything without consequence. What happens if I catch you saying something politically incorrect? It helps me dish out social justice. I hit you with my 5-step protocol. Serving size Step 1, I ignore what happens if I catch you saying something politically incorrect? I make huge assumptions about what you meant. I hit you with my 5-step protocol. Inform you about what you meant by what you said. I ignore Step 3, I correct you. Step 2, I tell you what you should assumptions about what you meant. While also getting the point across that you're inform you about what you meant by what you said. I turn my caps lock key on once you start trying to stand up for your own free will. While also getting the point across that you're a terrible person. I hit you with my trump card. Step 4, I turn my caps lock key on once you start trying to stand up for your own free will. Step 5, you're a sexist. Finally, I hit you with my trump card where I trivialize your entire being into a one-word label. Like telling you you're racist, you're a sexist, you're a misogynist, you're homophobic, you're heterophobic, you're transphobic, you're human-phobic. I'm like a doctor handing out complex diagnoses. Because I have a preformed understanding. When I decide to label someone with one word, I don't have to use my brain to understand them. Because I have a preformed understanding. I don't actually stand for anything in the word that I decided to call them instead of understanding them. I don't actually stand for anything. I just crusade against everything I don't stand for, which happens to be everything because I don't stand for anything. It's like I take on the virtues of cancer, and then I spread those virtues when I attack. I spend my days and nights vigilantly patrolling the internet for anything that's not politically correct, which is everything. I'm like the Batman of the online world. I usually spend about 4 hours a day compulsively checking Twitter. I have 83 followers. And I follow over 800,000 people, which means people are severely interested in what I have to say. And then I spend another casual 5 hours a day looking for other opportunities online to assert social justice. I accomplish so much in a day that you can't even measure it. My purpose in life is to be right. Luckily, I'm always right. My ability to always be right is based on my ability to point out how everybody else is always wrong. It takes a lot of effort to be in a highly intelligent state of mind all day like I am. So I prepare for my day as a social justice warrior by reciting self-empowerment affirmations in the morning. Like, I'm not responsible for how I feel. I'm not responsible for how I experience the world. I'm not responsible for my life. Other people are always the problem.
Are you okay?
How dare you? You are not allowed to ask me if I'm okay. K is an offensive letter. It's hate speech because the KKK use it in their name. Legislation should outlaw K. You are a racist.
Well, do you feel stable?
You can't ask me if I feel stable. I have an uncle with an inner ear condition that makes his balance unstable. That is hate speech to people with inner ear conditions. You are an inner ear phobic. I don't create change because it's not a very effective way to facilitate change. Instead, I righteously demand that others change themselves. And I even more righteously demand that they create the change that I want to see. My favorite inspirational quote is, "Demand that others be the change that you wish to see in the world." Some people erroneously think that I'm not out for the good of the world, that I'm just crusading to feel significant and to get people to notice me. That's not true at all. In fact, that's just basic Marxist thinking, which is highly offensive. And I feel that you bringing it up is a personal attack on me because I'm a redhead. You're gingerphobic. I need a safe space for a moment. Being a social justice warrior is like having a get out of jail free card to bully people while pretending I'm helping people. Except it's not that at all. It's something much different. It's carte blanche. You should be able to say what you want. But before you do, you should have to give a trigger warning. But after a month of that, I'd start to get triggered by your trigger warning. Then I'd demand that you give a trigger warning about the trigger warning. And then after a month of that, I'd start to get triggered by your trigger warning about your trigger warning. And then I would require that you accommodate me and my new demands again. If you didn't know any better, you'd think nothing's ever good enough for me. That's hateful of you to think, because I don't identify as me. As a social justice warrior, I'm an expert at communication. If you were an expert, then you too would know that swearing at people is the key to effectively communicating a point. And whoever uses the most capitals and hits the enter key the hardest is the winner of any online argument. You're welcome, world, that I'm here. It's tough to do what I do. I can do it because I'm always certain of myself. Did you know the people who everyone enjoys being around the most are the ones who are always certain of themselves? Yeah, fact. In spite of this, I make the sacrifice of always being alone online. People wish they could be around me more because I'm such a joy. But I have a duty to serve and protect society from everybody but me.